SwissBorg is now the official partner of my channel, so you can buy, earn, stake, sell, all in one secure mobile platform. Download using the link in the description, deposit €50 or more and you'll receive up to €100 worth of their native token CHSB. SwissBorg! Hello everybody, welcome back. Try and get through this video as fast as I can. There's not an enormous amount to say other than that's what's emerging in the news and the FOMC meeting today. So a quick start with Bitcoin and we'll look at some other quick things. So as we were saying yesterday and the day before I suppose, we got to reclaim this box. 19,500 at the bottom, 19,750 to the top, and now we've got moving averages like the 10 exponential and the 7 simple slicing right through it. It's just going to make it much harder to break through. This is a significant area to reclaim. If we were to break above there, close above there, then we would probably see some skyrocketing moves, you know, up into the mid-20s, but as we are not, we should expect probably nothing other than further downside. Now, there are two things that have happened today, or one thing in the pipeline, but the first thing is obviously Putin talking about all his mobilization and a bit more of a escalation as far as the war footing is concerned, doubling down on his position and making all kinds of threats, and that has had effects on commodities. You can see a spike that took place from oil. This could be the one that actually starts to move it back up into the 90s towards 100 and beyond. That remains to be seen, because this is being held down by the price of the dollar, which again is the story later on today, which is the FOMC meeting. And we've got our gold as well, having a little bit of a rally. It's not even a rally really, is it? It's 0.5%, but it's a reaction to what's taken place today in Eastern Europe. And the Nasdaq, obviously this is Nasdaq's effectively pre-market. It's not doing anything, and we can see that it's not been able to recover. There has been certain stocks, the stronger ones like Apple, Tesla, Microsoft, they were okay yesterday. They weren't too bad, but the majority of stocks within the Nasdaq and any index really has been going down, so they've not been able to catch a bounce. And normally markets can tell us how they're feeling leading into something like an FOMC meeting, and they're not really telling us anything. They're undecided. There's not been any attempt to try and rally into this meeting. If anything, it's just showing static sideways, and so I expect that if we do get a full percent, which there is a chance that we do get a 100 basis point rate hike today, that would just be an excuse to dump off. From my understanding, there is quite a lot of shorts have been stacked, which could mean that if we get a 75, which I think the market is more than priced at, I think the market's priced in a 100 basis point, but it's not for me to try and play these moves. The best trades are the ones that will take place after the event, really, because this event will try to establish the next major direction, whether we break down to a significant extent or continue to well, I suppose for the Dixie, in the Dixie's case, continue to move up. My fix on the Dixie would be towards the top of this trend line, so we're talking between, I suppose you could front run this ever so slightly, but between 113 to 115 over the next few weeks or months is where we'd like to see a direction change on this one. Daily still got the bearish divergence, weekly's obviously still going to have the bearish divergence, so we've got all that still in play as we approach this significant area which we've spoken about loads of times, the 22-year channel of the up, where we've had significant rejections when we've reached the top of it. I mean, big ones, huge turning points really, which is why I'm not expecting it to get hit straight away, and if we did, we could scrape it and sort of meander up here for the rest of this year before curling over and moving down over a period of years in the future. So I made that video about that yesterday, why you want to keep funds available into, ready for the second quarter next year, which by then we should already be in a bull market, if not getting ready for a bull market with long-term continuation. So you want to have some cash available for that, rather than trying to get clever and catch these bottoms. So yeah, back to Bitcoin then. Basically weak AF, to be honest with you. The FOMC meeting could pull this up, and again, I wouldn't get particularly bullish on it unless we close dailies above 19,750. So it's the same situation as yesterday on the chart, no difference to it. There is a signal that looks like it wants to be generated at some point quite soon, which would be a trend continuation short signal, unfortunately, on a daily, which is a bit of a problem there. It's not actually confirmed yet. The blue is in the red, it's not crossed. It tried to cross over here, it didn't manage to get away from it, but it could be crossing today or tomorrow at some point this week, and this will be a trend continuation down on a daily short signal. So there's not a good look, to be honest with you. That actually is no place to be getting a short signal. The good thing about these signals, however, though, is that we can play them and it will tell us when to get out of it and when the trend is over. So at least we've got that going for us if that signal kicks in, and then it would realistically put all these areas on the map once again. So we're talking 16,000, 14,000, 12, and see where we go from there. It could obviously get a lot worse than that. So it's not a place to buy, I would say. It's not a place to buy unless you're a gambling man or you're Nancy Pelosi and know something that others don't. I don't keep track of her trades. Maybe we should have a look at what she's doing, because as far as I can see, today would be a gambler's day. It's already started with a bit of a bang today with the commodities in response to Putin, but the real effect is going to be felt later on. So we're just going to have to sit back and wait for that. Once that's done, and this will be the last thing on the calendar for at least a couple of weeks, the direction will be chosen and we'll continue in that direction, I would imagine, for at least a couple of weeks, probably more than that, really. And given the fact that we're looking at a short signal potentially getting generated over the next few days, I do favour downside, but a little bit further down the line, so we're talking maybe into next month, November, December, we would be looking for a peak on the dollar. We would be looking for inflation to start to balance out and go down lower, depending on what oil's doing particularly. And into next year, a bull market is most likely going to be the most obvious situation, but a bull market from where? That's the question, isn't it? That's the question we all have to ask ourselves. When does the bull market start? Where is the bottom? What does the bottom look like? Are we focusing on crypto? Are we focusing on stocks? Or are we focusing on energy or commodities? What are we supposed to focus on? Or should we try and focus on everything altogether? I think the best thing to do, to be honest with you, is try to focus on everything altogether. Crypto is effectively moving on its own bear market, was dictated by its own 4-year cycle, but then on top of that, it's been accentuated by the rapid declines that are taking place across stocks of all nations. There's no stock market which is avoiding this downwards facing steep trajectory of bear market. So there's a reason to try and absorb as much information as possible from every single source and try and spit out some kind of outcome prior to the move taking place. But I really would make the case that Bitcoin and crypto particularly is not the first focal point when coming to trade these charts. You do have to look at Dixie and everything else that feeds into that. And today, obviously, the old men around the table will help us at least see into the future for a couple of weeks. Anyway, I'll leave it with you there. Let's sit back and watch the show unfold. Traditional market's probably the better place to gauge any kind of strength or weakness before looking at crypto. But yeah, we'll see where we go. Anyway, thanks for watching. Hope you have a nice day and take it easy.